Hi, my name is Dominique. I'm an interior designer working on refurbished aircraft based in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I've always loved, beautiful things and just having a new space and organizing space. But the interesting thing is this wasn't my first career. My first career was in fashion design. I worked in fashion in Montreal for about 10 years. I loved it for the 10 years I was there, but then the industry wasn't doing that well, and so I decided that I wanted to work in a more sustainable field like interior design. I went back to school for 3 years. I graduated. I couldn't find a job in commercial design doing restaurants or hotels. I had an interview with a company that did interiors of airplanes and didn't really interest me because I never thought I'd like airplanes. But once I started, I loved it. And 22 years later, it's the best job I've ever had. I've always loved interior design, and one of the joys and challenges at the beginning of a project is the excitement of a new project and not knowing what it's going to turn out to be. But we know that we have to enhance the product and meet the customer's goals and his expectations. And because we work with such beautiful fabrics, we have to choose carpets and veneer, countertops, leathers. In the last 10 years, I've been working mainly on refurbished aircraft, which is an even bigger challenge because sometimes a client just wants to change a carpet or just the seats because they're worn, or maybe the headliner because it got dirty. And we need to find fabrics that will fit within his current color scheme. And so that becomes challenging, but that's the fun part about design. To give a brief explanation of how the process works, when meeting a client or a client comes to me and they're looking for a new interior, the first step is to get information from them, to find out what their aircraft looks like currently, find out what they're looking for, what the budget is, how much time they have, because certain materials take longer than others. Let's say a custom carpet might take 12 weeks versus another carpet that might take 3 weeks. So you have to ask all these questions and find out exactly what their expectations are. And then the next step, I'll start researching and all the different suppliers. So if there's a specific budget for leather, then I'll look at specific suppliers that have, those prices. Otherwise, I have different options. And same thing with leathers, then you can get leathers that have like embossing, and if they're looking for a pattern, I might put that on a seat, like an automobile has all this different stitching on it, so we can go to different suppliers for that kind of thing. And then I would put together a material board based on these selections. Sometimes a client wants to see 1 or 2 color options because they're not sure if they want to go gray or beige. So I'd put together like a whole, beige scheme, or I'll put together a black and white scheme. Then I would send it to the customer, get their approval. Once they approve everything, then the next step would be to write a document locating all these materials, where they come from, what the pattern number is, what the color is, so that the completion center can order all these materials. Once that part is done and it's all approved and the materials have been ordered, then the airplane starts to be refurbished. So the seats get reupholstered, the carpet gets ordered, and then I'm in contact with the completion center. If ever they have questions about how the seat should look, I might do a drawing of the new seat design. I might go to the completion center to work with the upholstery shop. I might go to look at the wood that's been selected at the supplier to make sure that the grain is in compliance with what was selected. And then I would approve all the engineering drawings, if there are engineering drawings to be done for refurbished aircraft. And that's basically the whole process. My advice for an aspiring designer who wants to get into the field is, because it's such a niche field, interior design for business jets, I would say if you love meeting people, you love beautiful fabrics, you love a challenging project, and you're very detail oriented because every millimeter counts in an aircraft, and you're always up for a new challenge, this is what I would recommend, because even after 22 years, there's always a new problem to solve. I think the Women in Aviation Asia initiative is super timely because the aviation is little known for women. The whole field itself. I mean, there's so many departments and so many jobs, and especially interior design, that I never even knew existed when I studied in 1995. If you're an interior designer and you're studying interior design, you're thinking of studying interior design, I highly recommend working in aviation and in business aircraft because it's really exciting. You'll meet fascinating people, you'll travel, you'll do things you never thought you would do before in this field, and it's just always exciting. I recommend it.